I'm in west central Texas, just outside the town of Junction, and I'm sitting in a dry limestone stream bed, and right behind my heels is a massive seam of flint. Now this flint is really nice, it's high quality, it's a light sandy khaki tan color, and some of the pieces of this stuff are absolutely huge. Like this big old block, got to be at least 70 pounds. Now in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to go about breaking up large pieces of flint like this. Now that big piece was pretty huge, it's almost unreasonable. So I'm going to start off with a smaller piece like this. I've already taken a few flakes off of it, but you see it's that nice sandy tan colored flint. I'm going to show you guys how to get into a piece like this. Now a leather pad for your thigh is going to be really important for this when you're knocking off big blades off of these pieces of flint. They're razor sharp and they can really cut you, so definitely wear a thick leather pad when you're doing this. And you can do it with a hammerstone. I'm going to use this heavy copper bopper today just because it gives me a little more control. It gives me more weight in a smaller and more precise strike. So let's see, you're always, just like anything else, just like every other flint knapping rule, you're always looking for angles. You want that 45-degree angle, and you want the surface where the flake is going to come off to be slightly rounded. So this one is a little too flat in here, so I'm always looking. And what I do with this is I just scrape. And this is essentially a braiding. So I don't actually need an abrading stone. Flip it over. You can go back the other way too, a little bit, just to make sure it's significantly dulled. And I'm going to take a pretty heavy stout strike right here and knock a flake off this bottom side. Beautiful flake. Essentially just turning this thing almost into a giant biface. And I don't really do much big work normally, but usually make arrow points, but for pieces like this, I'll work some bigger blades out of it. Now, let's see, a 45-degree angle here. I've got a little bit of a nipple, kind of an isolated platform. I'm going to see if I can strike up here and drive a flake off this bottom side. It may step out though, because it's not quite as rounded as I want it to be, but let's see what we can get away with. Oh wow. Look at that. Beautiful flake. I like this heavy copper bopper because it gives you this option. You can just rub it on the edge and does a lot of micro flaking. You can do a lot of surface preparation, edge dulling. You don't actually need an abrading stone. It's important to get these edges dull when you're going to strike them, because you're going to hit them pretty hard, and you want that edge to support the blow so the big flakes can come off. Alright, let's see here. This edge is a little chewed up. It looks like where it broke off the main piece of flint, but got off some of that cortex. Always checking my angle. It's a little bit steep there, but I think I may be able to pull one off. Yep. Missed it. Okay. Let's see, this 90-degree edge is No good, you don't want to strike on that. Just always looking for angles. Let's see, here's another one right here. Try to drive a flake up underneath. Another beauty. Now this point is a little too prominent. Got a little nipple right there. I think I can strike. Flake broke, but all right. This has got a lot of cortex on it. I don't want that there. It did break. There was a crack in there. You guys noticed that. It was. You could see it right here. It was bound to break on that. I just didn't know how deep it went, but it was all the way through that piece. That's okay. I mean, a lot of times when you break up these pieces, you'll have cracks in them, and this crack still continues. You can see it right there. So it doesn't look like it goes all the way through, but some of these bigger pieces, you think they're solid, but when you hit them, they're not. They actually have cracks, which makes them easier to break into more manageable sizes. So that's all I'm doing, is just looking at those edge contours, the edges, and the surface where the flake's going to come off. And if it's not rounded, the surface is not rounded, I'll make it round. There's a nice rounded right in here. I want that edge a little bit steeper. It's pretty dull though, so it's not flaking. I'm gonna try it. Got a little one off of there. I always try to get as much as I can off the piece. Even the small flakes I'll take. I don't want to waste this stone. You can see where it hit that crack in here. Okay. Let's see here. And I'll work all different kinds of crazy angles, like right in here. So 45, I'll strike there and get off a flake. Anywhere I can get a flake off, I'll take it. I've got a real thick square edge here I don't like, so in a way I'm zigzagging. If you guys see me in my other videos, how I'll zigzag. I do that on a large scale too. Here, I need these little flakes. Even if these flakes are curved, I still take them. Oh, another crack right in here. What a beauty. So this piece, you can see, is starting to work down, but we've got a big pocket in here, crystal pocket. And it broke along that pocket. So these little weak areas will allow you to break these pieces down into more manageable sizes. Now that this piece has been work down a little bit. I'll show you can certainly do the same thing with the hammerstone as I did with the copper. Got a little crack in there I don't like. It's alright, I'm going to leave that for later. Try to get off this bad area. Now, see an angle right here, I think I could take a flake off. Smaller one. Got a lot of cortex on it, so. Some flake. Beauty. Essentially just turning this into a giant blade, a bifacial core. Heard people say if you just concentrate on making good flakes, the arrowhead will just happen, and that is very true, because you can see it's already, this piece is already flattening out and becoming essentially an oversized biface. Well, that did some funky stuff. Broke apart. Yeah, there's another crack in there. Oh well. Abrading this edge now. The thing I like about that copper is you could do this because the copper has more weight to it. It doesn't take as long. So there's the finished blank I made out of that piece. You can see it's a lot smaller than what we started out with, but cracks in the stone dictated that it was not going to be as large as we thought it was. But that's often the case when you're working this stuff. You just got to work around whatever problems you have and get out of it what you can.
Here are the flakes I got off of that large block of flint. These can be made into a myriad of different tools, including drills, arrow points, spear points, knives, woodworking tools, and butchering tools.